What we're working on right now is with our marketing team is, okay, we need 3,200 leads. Now, if you run that backwards at 720, that's $2.3 million. So right now our budget is actually at 2.5 on our marketing. Our goal is to hit 16% net, and we want to hit that bottom line revenue. Top line that we care less about. We want to hit that 16% net.
16% net on $18 million.
It'd be pretty incredible. It'd be a good life for me. It'd be a good life for my team. It's good. It's a healthy for the company. We can reinvest in the company. There's a lot of things you can do.
Welcome to another episode of the Built to Win podcast. We are live here at Top 500 Live in Las Vegas. John and I, this is the first time we're together in person for one of these. We live in Staten Island together, but we got to go to Vegas to actually record in person.
How it goes, isn't it?
And we've got Tim Brown from RGS Exteriors back with us again, making a second appearance on the podcast.
Let's go. Look, man, we're in Vegas. It's an amazing place, amazing conference. You know, Paddle Tool in the group does a really good job, and it's amazing.
Yeah, it's a great atmosphere. This is my favorite event, I think, that we attend, or at least one of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, today we're going to talk about planning for next year, right? So we're coming towards the end of 2025, getting ready for 2026. And Tim, I know you've got a lot of your numbers already ready to go and planned out for what kind of targets you're looking to hit for next year. So let's talk a little bit about that. Tell us a little bit about what you're targeting. What's your
top line revenue, Tim? What are you shooting for?
Well, I see. So I guess maybe to set it up, this year has been an interesting year. We projected to do 18 million this year, but it's going to be more like 16. So we're down about 20%. Our sales really just came back from leads. Our lead cost last year was around 540. This year they're at 760. So quite a difference, right?
Wow, yeah.
So that was really hard to project that. And when we did our business plan this time last year, projecting, we didn't expect our lead costs to jump like it did. So now we do that. Now we know that, and we kind of work it back. So having said that, we're going to go back to 18 again. Now, top line revenue, we're going to plan on doing 18 million. Sales 16. Now, why the difference is we do a little bit of some contractor work. We have a little bit of big contracts that we have. So sell 16 and then produce 18.
Install 18.
Install
on
18.
approval. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So you're going back for the 18.
We're going to
next year.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, the difference is between this year and last year is now I've got my lead cost built into that. Right.
Okay.
So now we've worked it backwards, and now we know, okay,
your new lead cost.
Our new lead cost. I hope it doesn't go up again. If it goes up again, I'm off again. But I think
that's a raw lead cost, or as a cost per an issued lead?
So an issued lead. I don't have our actual calls to issued, but we're running about a 90%. So we're really fortunate that about 90% of our leads come in, we actually set.
Yeah.
And we have very little cancellation. So our net issued leads are pretty accurate, and that's what our net issued lead cost is right now.
So this increased lead cost this year, Tim and I were at Success Society Intensive last week, and that was a pretty common theme of, between us, the members themselves, that lead costs had gone up this year.
Way up.
About 30%, most people are saying, right? And
are people projecting it's going to stay pretty constant? Do people think it's going to stay
so people in this industry had been saying for the last 2 years that this was going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Once the COVID boom ended. So
there's less leads out there. Is that why that's what's driving it up?
Yeah, well, I mean, I can give you specifically for our market, because we did a deep dive and we did it via Google, right? Google Analytics, and looking at it, comparing to our market, all the products we offer, siding, windows, gutters, decks. We took those specific items and projected it like this year versus last year on demand. And demand via Google is down 30% from last year.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it is demand's just down this year.
Yeah.
The other thing too is, I think there's a couple of factors for lead costs going up. One, demand is down. Two, there's private equity coming in. There's more competition.
Yeah.
We just have more people in our market, and thus brings up the cost. And then I think the other thing too is bringing the cost of leads just in general. People are more cautious. What are we doing to fix that and to try to keep it down? And why I'm leading my lead costs the same for next year is we've got a much better rehash program. I mean, Joe, we talked about that in Wealthy Contractor last week in detail, but really focus on a rehash this year to try to recoup some of those leads back. And then I think we've got a brand ambassador now full time, and really trying to get those referrals. Referrals essentially are free leads. I mean, not literally, but you got the idea. So by getting more referrals and getting our rehash back in front of the customers, we're really hoping to keep our lead costs there or lower.
Yeah. So, like we spoke about last week, rehash should be 10% of your sales monthly. That should be the goal.
And ours hasn't been.
Yeah.
We
have no rehash, right?
We none in
place.
Nothing official. Now this is going to be probably not common for most of your listeners, and I don't necessarily encourage this. In fact, I don't encourage this, but our sales guys own their leads, basically. Once we're issued, they have them in perpetuity, and which is good and bad. I mean, some of these leads, it takes time to build the trust and to sell these. When we have our bigger $100,000,
you have some services that have a long sales cycle, right?
And those ones, it's okay. It makes sense, right?
Yeah, because the salesperson's building a relationship
but
with the homeowner. I mean, there's no way that you're going to go in and sell
You're not going to sell a $200,000 job on a one-day call. It's just not going to happen. Right? You're going to go home, you're going to build a rental work, you're going to do all these things. But going back to our basic gutter jobs or basic window job, those should be able to be sold at the same time.
But that is most of your business, right? Replacement.
It is.
Quick turn replacement, replacement projects, right?
Yes.
So you don't it's a small part of your business, those larger jobs that have a bunch of designing and stuff like that thrown into it, right?
Yes. But that's the other thing that I'm going to really focus on in 2026 is our average lead cost all in is about $15K this year. Now, why so low? Gutter jobs bring that down.
What'd you say your average?
$15,000. And so we've got to do our best to get that up dramatically.
Your average sale is 15.
Our average sale. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes, I said that wrong. Our average sale is $15,000. It's right at 15. And so if we can just get that up just a couple points, a couple $1,000s, that makes a big difference as well. And so that'll bring our lead costs down because we can sell more at lower leads needed.
So are you switching that now? You are going to bring on the rehash, and the sales reps don't get to hold on to these leads that they're running forever?
Yeah. So easier said than done.
Yeah.
But yes. But no, what we're going to do is we brought in a full-time outbound call person in our call center that all they're doing is just outbound calls, calling previous customers, and those rehash jobs aren't sold. So how it's going to work by taking the leads away, I don't know yet. We're still in progress.
Oh, we spoke about this as a Success Society with the wealthy contractor. You contact Megan Beatty. She's excellent.
In fact, she's training our gal right now.
Yeah, okay, that's great. So she's going to have a script for you that's going to look more like a survey.
Oh,
yeah. So we gave you we gave you the outline there. Megan's going to give you a rehash script that's going to start like a survey, right? Like tell us how did the sales rep show up on time? Was he polite? Was he courteous? Did he show you everything? And then at the end, it's just going to be like, well, if you like sort of, those things, you're going to ask for ratings. But if you like, I'm just going to assume there's something you didn't like, it was the price, and you're just going to gauge it. And most of the time, not most of the time, but some of the times the customer will say, yeah, you know what? And then they kick that over into the sales team. And like I said to you, the thing that we found when starting out with a rehash program, the easiest thing to do, because we've done it multiple ways and we failed and we've learned, is we just distribute the rehash lead to a different sales rep, right? Rather than going out and creating a specialized salesman in a separate department when you're first starting out. That's a heavy lift. We did that, and what we found was there was a conflict between the two departments, right? The regular sales team looked at this person as the enemy, and there was really no communication. That's another wonderful thing about rehash is you can kind of get feedback. So like our guys now, it's our regular sales team, they're running a lead. Will may be running Brandon's lead, and he'll go there, and when they get in the sales meeting on Monday, they'll bust each other's chops.
Oh.
They'll rib each other like, "Oh,
hey, I sold that one."
Yeah. And of course, we give them a reduced commission, but they don't mind. I mean, typically we pay 10% for a regular sale. On rehash, we reduce that down to 6%. But the salespeople don't mind because, I mean, typically when you're going in to do a rehash sale, you're looking to do one of two things or both. You're looking to either redesign the project and or give a discount, right? So for a discount off the last price that was given. So
the other interesting thing too, the on-site told, but a little bit off. One of the things that I think we're going to find that makes me sick, and we have really good sales guys, is that a part of that survey is, did they give you a cost? And sometimes or did they give you a price? And sometimes the answer is no. It's like, man, you've done all the work. Why haven't you given them a price? So let's hope that's not the case.
Well, you're going to be holding them accountable.
We are. And so bottom line to kind of bring this back in. So what we're going to try to do is get those leads. Now, we know, let's talk about specifically what that looks like. If we're going to need 16 million in sales.
Yeah. So let's work the numbers backward, right?
Yeah.
So this is what we want to talk about, doing a business plan for the year. I mean, typically, most people should have completed them by now or should be finishing them up right now
and wrapping them up.
Right. Sure. Yeah. So they can present them to their teams. So working, we always talk about working backwards from the numbers. So you're going to do 18 million this year. You want to do 18 million in top line this year, correct? So let's talk about what that looks like working backwards with leads. You have those numbers.
So first thing with leads, right? So just running the numbers, and an average job size of 15. So I'm using my lowest number. So I'm going to plan on that, and then hopefully we can improve that, right? But by doing that, I'm going to need a little over 1,000 cells, about 1,060 cells. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, then our average closing percentage is right around 33%. So it's right at that third. So literally triple the leads is what I'm going to need. So I'm going to need 3,180 issued leads. So, I'm going to need 3,200 leads, issued leads, net issued leads to be able to get the cells to make those numbers. And so that's just kind of reverse engineering it, right? So we've got that. So now we go back, and what we're working on right now is with our marketing team is, okay, we need 3,200 leads. Mm-hmm. Now, if you run that backwards at 720, that's $2.3 million. Mm-hmm. So right now our budget is actually at 2.5 on our marketing is what we've got in our budget. So that gives us a little bit of fluff. And look, some of the best ways to add to the bottom line is to cut out marketing costs. So if we can get our average lead cost down, if we can get our average job size up, that's all just going to pull from marketing, which literally goes back to the bottom line. Because our goal is to hit 16% net is what we're going to budget based on. And we want to hit that bottom line revenue. Top line, and we could care less about. We want to hit that 16% net.
16% net on $18 million.
It'd be pretty incredible. It'd be a good life for me. It'd be a good life for my team. It's good. It's a healthy for the company. We can reinvest in the company. There's a lot of things you can do, right? If you have a 16% net or 17% net on 18 million, you can do some things.
Okay. And so you briefly, you started with sales, you worked the numbers back to leads, right?
Yep.
So we're not going to go too deep because we don't have much time here at this conference, but knowing the amount of sales, you said you needed to sell, what was it, a little over 1,000 jobs? Is that
yeah, 1,060.
1,060. How many sales reps do you currently have right now in 2025, and how many more are you going to need based on those numbers?
Yeah, so we have 8 full-time guys plus a sales manager.
Nice.
And he doesn't actively sell. He does some of the rehash sales. So that's where he comes in is he'll do the rehash. And he wants to do that just because he wants to stay sharp and be able to practice what he's preaching. So he likes to take a couple appointments. So anyway, so we have 8 right now. 8, the number's 8 does the math with this. But we're planning on bringing in 2 more full-time guys. So we want 10. And again, that just brings us back. If we can get that doesn't include a bench, right? So if we want to hire more and have a bench,
you want to have a 20% capacity.
Correct. But our plan is 8 to 10 sales reps is going to get us
those numbers. Okay. And what about your production department? How are you going to install them? And what does that look like right now?
We're really fortunate. I think that over the last couple of years, we built ourselves a pretty reputable company, and it's a company that installers want to work for. So we're literally got guys banging down on our doors trying to come work for us. And so we're really, really fortunate. We have more installers than we've ever needed, which I can't believe, because 2 years ago that wasn't the case, right? COVID, that was the opposite. So
there's still companies today that are still struggling with install capacity.
And I think that the advantage and the way we're able to do that, just to talk briefly, is we've got a lot of in-house crews, W-2 employees, but then we've got some sub crews that work kind of exclusively for us. And so they've got kind of the boss man, and he puts a crew assigning to us. And so the advantage of having that sub be that extra is when we need we need an extra crew this week. Give us an extra crew, and they come in and do another job. Right?
You have a wonderful opportunity.
It gives you an opportunity to have that flexibility and that production flexibility, because the last thing you want to do is to have 18 million worth of work or of installers and only sell 16.
I mean, you're going to lose that. That is one of your jobs, Tim, as the owner, to look at the finances, but look to always produce to your production capacity, right? That's your job, right?
Well, and our limiting factor has been leads. So if we can fix that this year, then 2026 is going to be incredible. So now the other important factor, you talk about the production, but maybe the most important is our gross profit, right?
GP.
So our gross profit overall, our cost of goods sold is budgeted at 38%.
That's labor and material?
So labor and material. So not commission, just labor and material. So an overall blended between gutter, siding, and everything at a 62% gross profit, running the math, right? And if we can hit that, we're right on track. Now, that's the other thing too. If we can gain a point or two on COGS, that goes right to the bottom line, right?
You know how you can do that, right?
Raise your prices.
That's right.
Look, man, you're preaching to the choir with me. I think I beat that drum so much to so many people.
You can either go in and beat up your suppliers and say, hey, when they're all raising prices, did you get your price increase letters for 2026?
Oh yeah, they're all coming.
Yeah.
And look, I always should look at them as an opportunity. You know, I used to be the other way around. I used to go, oh my gosh, now what?
Well, who's going to pay that price?
The customers are.
That's right.
And so, and look, and it's an opportunity. And I tell the sales reps all the time, every time we raise the price, look, I'm just giving you a raise. Yeah. Literally, I'm giving you a raise because the math's math. Your closing percentage isn't going to change. If I raise my prices 5 to 10%, you're not going to close any less. Maybe a point less, but your bottom line, you're going to sell more. So
strategically, I found there's always a better way to do that. You know, the sales is it's all mindset, right? So if you go in and hit the sales team with a big 10% price increase in January, guess what's going to happen? Yeah, they're 3-4 weeks. They're going to sulk. They're going to cry. They're going to say this is too expensive.
But then guess what's going to happen?
Yeah,
they're going to sell.
I've figured out. So, but what I've always done now, what I've started to do, is I've just started to slowly raise my pricing every month, and they don't even notice.
Boil the frog.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't tell them, right?
We don't even tell them anymore.
Increase the price. They don't even know that they're increased.
We just plug it into our pricing calculator inside the program, the quoting program, estimating software. And and you're talking about 2-3% a month, depending on how aggressive we need to get there. They don't realize that a window went up from 2,100 to,
even look, a savvy rep might be able to figure it out because he might look at it and go, whoa, this was like almost the same thing and it's more. So they might figure out, but 2 or 3 points, or even if you went 1 point a month, at the end of the year, you raise your prices 12%.
12%.
That's plenty.
Yeah.
So anyway, so bottom line, back to kind of the focus of this is yes, raise your prices. But if we can play with that gross profit, and we can gain a point or two there, we can gain a point or two on marketing. Now, all of a sudden, you can go from 16 to 20 really fast. Conversely, you can go from 16 to 12 really fast too. And so it's really important to plan it, work your plan. And now the other thing that I do, that I spend a lot of my time, in fact, probably the majority of the time that I spend in my business, is every single month when I get the numbers, I have them, they're due to me the first Wednesday of the month by noon. I get all the numbers and I put them all in, and then I compare to actuals versus our budget. Mm-hmm. And I look at it every single month. And then I meet with my management team and we go and we review them as a management team. Look, here's where we're at actual, here's where we're at budget. And then we can kind of compare it and look at
on track or off track.
On track, off track. I mean, it's kind of the EOS model, but that's not specifically with the numbers. But then that way, it's all beneficial. And the leadership team makes a good part of their money on profit sharing. Mm-hmm. So they're focused on getting a profit. We look at it each month. What do we need to do? What can we fix? What can we tweak? And by doing it every single month, we know where we're at.
So the point here is you need to know your numbers, right? You need to budget. You need to plan accordingly, right? Because without a plan
to fail.
Plan to fail.
But I'll give all your listeners a little cheat. I'm very fortunate to know Charlie Gindel very well. He's been a mentor of mine for literally 21 years. He does some amazing things. I first learned this in the Certified Contractors Network, or CCN. I learned about Charlie. Kind of has a pro forma budget. He's done some stuff with Success Society. But here's the free tidbit. In his book, just buy his book or go to his website. I think it's charliegindel.com. I'm not sure what would say. Whatever, Google it and find it. He has a pro forma budget that's free. You can download it for free. You don't even have to be a member of any of those things. And you can download that pro forma budget. And if you can build your business on that, it's got your cost of goods sold, your marketing costs, your sales. It's got it all in there. It's a big detailed spreadsheet. But if you can spend the time, probably spend a day or two with your team doing that, you've got an amazing plan. And that pro forma budget is gold. And that will give every one of your listeners the roadmap to make it happen.
That's perfect. Tim.
Guys, let's go. Top 500. Let's make 2026.
Thank you for joining us here. This is our first year doing it at a live event.
Yeah, we'll do this again. Maybe we'll get another one in before we're done here today.
Jonathan will love this. We can finally say we are customers. It's only taken 5 years or 3 years, whatever it was, but we're officially customers.
And a whole lot of convincing, right? And a few steak dinners.
Well, It wasn't me. I was all, but it was getting Kurt convinced. Kurt, I'm very fortunate to have a good right hand, right? And you guys all know Kurt very well, but he just didn't put the time and effort into getting it, and he finally did it. You realized what we all knew all along, that Builder Prime's the way to go. So there's a little plug.
Oh, thanks, Tim. Yeah, I'm excited to be working with you.
Brother. Always proud to call you my friend, buddy.
Double J's, we love you guys.
Like I said, so until next time.